This is Ikea. I know it doesn't look like because I bought them like that. But today I'll show you how I gave them a transformation and maybe you can do it too. Hello amazing humans, my name is Alumine. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Just keep sending. Thank you for being here. So I picked up this set. It's Rast from Ikea. I liked it because it's a blank canvas. I don't have crazy plans for this, but I will be removing this base, reinforcing the back. Sorry. I need to figure out what I want to do base-wise. I'm really excited of working in this piece, but there are a lot of details. And I already gave you an intro, but on today's video I will take you along on this IKEA hack or makeover. This set I picked up for $50, and when I brought them home, I thought I overpaid. They clearly looked like they were purchased at different times for the color of the drawers. I'll show you that later. But whoever did this DIY, I hope this is their last one, or I hope that at least they learned from it. A few things needed to be addressed before continuing. IKEA makes this set in solid pine. It's all naughty, not naughty, wood, like you can see here in the picture. But it is like a blank canvas, the way I see it, because it's straight lines. Well, this might be more like a black canvas. Before even cleaning, I took the drawers out using a coin, because I find that like curve of the coin so much easier to stuck it in that kind of screwdriver shape that these IKEA drawers have. I will have to take the drawers apart because the bottom needs to be flipped, and also there is a way too much overpaint. The inside was painted as well, and the back of the bottom drawer as well. They used chalk paint and a million bad coats of oil-based poly, and I say bad because there are drips. They are already 27 inches tall, so whatever legs I add, they can't be that tall. Average nightstands go between 23 and 27 inches. Only the bottom drawer was the one that was painted in the back, and that is because of what I showed you in the beginning, that the backing of this piece doesn't go all the way down, so I guess that's why they did it. I really don't. Oh well. After that, I flip it on the side. I remove all the nylon guides that were really easy to come off. They're just pushed there, and I also remove the nylon bottoms. If you ever decide to do something like this, I mean, you can just fast forward till the end because you will probably do it from a new piece, not from all this mess that I'm doing. There are some very interesting parts of this video on how I got to the end result. But if you ever going to do this IKEA hack with this Rast piece, I don't think you need to watch all my craziness on how I got to where I got. But if you want to, I am glad you're staying. After that, I put it on its front so I could remove the back piece. I am not going to reuse that because I want to use a piece that will cover the whole thing in the back, and that one was shorter and I didn't like it. I don't know why IKEA chose to do that, but I don't think it looks very professional. I knew I was going to remove the last 3 inches from the bottom to attach some legs, but I made the mistake of not measuring with the drawers in, so I had to put the bottom drawer back inside to do proper measurements. I was going to reuse the pieces of wood that I was removing, one from the back brace and the other one from the bottom that I was going to cut. So I needed to make sure that everything was reusable and nothing was breaking, so I took everything apart very carefully to be able to repurpose those pieces of wood, and also to make it easy to cut. The good thing about this piece is that nothing was glued on and everything was attached with dowels and these super long screws, so it was very simple to take it apart. As when I put the drawer back in, I saw that the drawer front and the bottom brace were not touching. It was really shy below it. I used it to measure a straight line with the speed square, but also considering the extra width of the wood as I needed to attach it to the bottom. Okay, here's a moment where you can judge me. I thought I could cut this without taking the whole thing apart, and I ended up creating more problems for myself. So keep watching and you'll see. So in here I'm measuring, and remember before when I said about trying to cut this with this whole thing attached? Well, that was not very smart. And we're gonna go over that in a second because I think it's important to address that and understand that even me that I have been using my table saw for years, I still make mistakes. I don't know if it's because I'm in a rush, because I don't realize. I don't really know why. Also, I forgot to lock the wheels of the table saw, but I pressed again over there. This is very painful to watch, but we have to. Oh, I don't even want to look. Ouch. Yeah, that was bad. So in this moment, the only thing I knew is that the table saw ate a piece of my wood, but I really didn't understand what happened until later on that day, I rewatched the video that I filmed. I thought I was being smart, but clearly looks like I was stupid. It had never happened to me. I think it's the way it was distributed, so I'm taking another route now. And sorry for this close shot. So this is what happened. The board I was cutting had a little bit of a bow on the end. So when I was passing it through the table saw, at the very end of my fence, there is a lip, let's say, and it hit that and it kicked back. I'm really glad that because of the way I used the table saw, nothing more serious happened. And after that, I was so scared of using the table saw again. And I kept going because I do not operate based on fear. And gladly I made the custom drawer pulls and removed the knobs the day before. So that was out of the way. I will link the video at the end so you can go watch it because I do not want you to leave this one yet. And otherwise, this one was going to be too long. After that, I cleaned everything with TSP and water and filled the holes with dowels and finished with wood filler. So after filling the holes, I took the drawers apart so I could work on the faces without having the whole drawer interrupting me because I really needed to sand that thing. And I also took advantage of having it all taken apart. And I sanded the sides as well where there was some paint boogers left just to make it look nicer, softer and smoother. We talked about it. Don't make me repeat it. Well, okay, I'm here. I'm gonna say it. Yeah, I had to sand the inside of the drawers as well because I was not gonna leave that like that. To finish up the structure of the nightstand, I did pocket holes on the braces I removed to be able to use them as the bottom pieces to be able to attach the legs. So Craig has a whole list on the type of screws you should be using for the type of wood you're working on and how thick it is. So in my case, as my boards were not thicker than 3/4, I ended up using 1-inch screws for soft wood. After I had the structure steady, I filled the holes with Bondo, the ones I messed up before. and also the dowel and screw holes that I removed from the sides. Once that was completely dried, I sanded it and I covered with shellac because Bondo might burn through the wood or bleeds, however people call that. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it didn't ruin my paint. The good thing about priming the repairs is that the primer will show you absolutely everything that is wrong with the texture of your piece. But in this case, I didn't worry much because I was gonna do something else with the sides of these dressers. Okay, here comes the nonsense. I wanted to remove that lip or overhang from the top. For that, I thought the router was gonna be a good idea, and it was. But the bit was not long enough to remove the whole width of the wood. And also, the position to hold the router was so uncomfortable, and we don't want to be in a weird angle from that million miles per hour turning bit. So after that, I ended up using a chisel and then a belt sander because the orbital was not strong enough, and I had to finish with wood filler as well and sand smooth. I love using the router, but I do not like having all those wood shavings all over my body, so that is why I wear coveralls, mask, glasses, and a cap. After all that was done, I decided to add some extra. Why? Because I could. I put texture wallpaper on the sides, and for that I measured, I cut the size, and pasted with wallpaper paste and water. I want to note that when the wallpaper is wet, it becomes a little stretchy, so it is important to keep an eye on that. To make it easy on me, I aligned the straight edge to the front, and then I pulled to the back, and when that was dry, I cut to size. And this is why I wasn't 100% worried about not being able to cover properly those holes with the Bondo, because when I put the wallpaper, even though this will take the shape of whatever thing is under it, they will not show because the texture is very forgiving. If you made it this far, I am so grateful for you. I hope you're enjoying it, and consider subscribing too. I would love to have you around. Oh, and don't forget to tap that like button too. Finally, it is time to paint. I was planning to use this color as a base, but when I noticed I had enough, I kept going. So I decided to paint both sides of the drawer front. Yes, you will wonder why, after all that work, I ended up painting it. Well, I thought it will look better, and also I didn't have to tape. I didn't mention it before, but I did scuff sand it, all the places that were going to be painted. So I sprayed starting with the inside, all that was black, and also find better to spray when there is texture wallpaper. I have no idea how many coats I did, but to stretch the paint, I mixed 50-50 with top coat and paint, and did some additional coats. I scuff sanded 400 grit in between coats, but on the last one I used this sponge that I love because it gives such a smooth feel. and this one is at 2000 grit. Yes, let's make the legs. If you've been around for a while, you know I have a tons of scrap wood. So I grabbed some of the one I had, I cut blocks of 2x2 on the table saw, and then I cut to size with the miter saw. After I had all that done, I routed everything, but this time I decided to do that on the grass because I did not want to clean the shop after all that routing I had done with the rest of the body the day before. Of course, I had to sand after all of that using my handy dandy bench sander, which is just me holding my orbital sander in between my knees. I mean, gets the job done, right? To match the legs and the poles, I did a brown wash on the legs and a white wash on the poles. Yeah, not even close. And then I love working on white surface. And then I use this. Also water base. So what are we gonna do now? I'm going to scuff sand because all the wood grain is raised. I'm going to scuff sand and do a whitewash. Will it work? We don't know. I finished everything with stain poly combo in early Immigrant to make poles and legs match. They turn out pretty good. I used the previous holes of the knobs to find the center and did the holes for the new pulls 4 inches apart using this marvelous cheat. I didn't have to measure much because the back of the drawer face already has a pin to mark the center, and to find the center on the shorter side, I just used the existing holes. I flipped the piece upside down to measure for the legs. I cleaned to remove all the paint boogers out of the drawer tracks and I reattached them. I also lined the bottom of the drawers with a neutral wallpaper and reinforced the bottom with a small square dowel just in case. Yes, we're almost done. Can you believe it? I measured and cut new backing piece using another dresser backing leftovers. We discard nothing in this shop. I reattached it using a staple gun and we were done. Yes, we are done. After all those million steps, I am finally done with them. And holy cow, don't they look gorgeous? Like, every time for those 24 hours until they sold, I was passing by them in awe. I would have definitely kept something like this for myself because, oof, they were pretty. I'll leave you some more footage here so you can enjoy the after of this set. I decided to stage this one with nothing. I just took the pictures just like that. And considering it's all pretty fast, I implemented that again, one more time. I hope you enjoyed this video and didn't struggle with me while I was going through all of this. Remember that if you're planning to do something like that, I would love to know, but you might be killing 50% of the process just by buying them new or using something you already have. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm always happy to help. If you want to learn how to make these drawer pulls, I leave the link right here so you can watch it next, or there's a playlist that I will also be having here in case you want to continue watching some of my content. Leave me a comment, a like, or subscribe if you are enjoying all of this so far. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!